I know we still have more people coming. We had a decent amount registered for today, but I know there's some last minute craziness that takes place sometimes. So, and that is okay because we will make sure everybody gets a copy of this slide deck and the recording afterwards. So, but for those who are already here, thanks for joining us. My name is Ryan Casey. I'm the director of esports for the Michigan High School Esports League. Joining me today from the MHSEL team is the assistant director, Maggie Helmer. We also have our friends from Play Versus who help really help us operate the league. We have both Patty and Mike. So thank you to them. And you'll have a chance to kind of hear from everybody throughout the webinar. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get rolling through the slide deck, Maggie, if we can. So we've got about 45 minutes or so planned. Obviously, if you have an idea you want to share, feel free to use the chat for those who are introducing themselves as well. But if you have a question, we'll go ahead and use the Q&A feature, and then both Maggie, myself, Patty, and Mike will use that to respond, and we'll probably stop along the way. So you can ask a question anytime you want. And as I mentioned, the slide deck and a recording of this webinar will be sent out to those, especially those who maybe last minute had something pop up. So you might have heard about our esports league. Maybe sometimes, we are officially called the Michigan High School Esports League, or MHSEL. Maybe you've heard it called the Play Versus League or the Principals League, MASSP League, or our Student Leadership League. But really, we all it's kind of the same league that we're talking about. And essentially, if you see that shield, that orange shield, MHSEL, that is the league that we're talking about. I just like to start off with that because sometimes people don't realize what group they're talking to sometimes. Just a couple of really quick facts about our league. We are, believe it or not, we are starting our 4th year in esports. We actually started back in 2020 during the pandemic. It was a great option for kids to be able to compete and engage virtually, right, while we were all on kind of lockdown or remote learning. We are a varsity level league. We offer fall and spring seasons, and we have 9 different game titles available. So those are just some real quick basic facts. We're going to talk about how it works, how the scheduling works, the differences between the games, the costs, some special dates or important events that are coming up. We will make sure we cover all those things, so we should be able to answer all your questions. Our mission is to provide a safe, competitive, and curricular environment that allows the student athletes the opportunity to build critical skill sets, explore vast career paths, and contribute to their school's culture within varsity esports. And our vision is to be Michigan's elite high school esports league. This mission and vision was created with an advisory board of different coaches and administrators that want to see the esports landscape in Michigan thrive. And so this is something we try and, we design all our programming around this mission and this vision. And I'm excited to be able to share with you some cool things we have to support that mission and vision in store this year. You can see our heat map there from last spring. Last spring was our largest season to date. We had 94 schools, 385 teams, and around 1,400 students participating in just the spring. And so from that 2020 date all the way through last spring, we've seen remarkable growth. I think we're going to surpass those numbers this fall and this spring coming up as well. So it's been really cool to watch this grow and spread across the state. And here's just a really quick video from our spring championships, which were held at Western Michigan University. I'm a former Bronco, so go Broncos. But it was a really cool production value. They were on a stage with a bunch of lighting and cool equipment and screens. And so for those of you who are still maybe on the fence about this, or maybe you come from a traditional sports background and you're not quite sure if you get it, I think this video will provide an idea as to why it's so popular, why it's exciting, why kids love it, and why hopefully educators, administrators, and parents would want to support it. So go ahead, Maggie. Okay, that's probably good, Maggie, if you want to stop it there. So hopefully that video gave you an idea in terms of just, as we mentioned, the popularity and the excitement, kind of behind what we're trying to do. And so I'll talk more about the events, including the championships and what we have in store for this fall and spring. But at this time, to really get to the nuts and bolts of how this all works, we're going to turn it over to our friends Patty and Mike from Play Versus. So the slide deck or screen is yours.
Thank you, Ryan. Now let me see if I can navigate our Zoom here. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Do this multiple times a day.
Yep. Oh. Look, we can see it. Just got to hit the slideshow button, I think.
Yep, I got another. All right. He's on the Play Versus Esports experience.
Oh, we can't see it. I can't see it, Patty.
Of course. But it worked so well when we did this in practice.
Of course, that's how it works.
All right.
And if not, Maggie can reshare. So there you go. We're good.
We're good. Yep. Awesome. Thanks everyone for your patience. I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce myself. My name's Patty. I'm here with my colleague, Mike Buck. I've been working with Play Versus for just over a year, and I'm helping schools get started with their program or expand their program. And then Mike, I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, Mike Buck here, Customer Success Manager at Play Versus for the state of Michigan, as well as the rest of the Midwest and the Southeast territories. So schools, they'll work with me season over season after you are finished with your sales rep to continue the success of your esports program and to continue to grow that esports program. So I'm really excited. Michigan's an incredible state for esports. Each season it's grown, and I'm really excited to have another fall season kickoff soon. So thank you all.
Very soon, and we'll talk about important dates. Of course, we just went through the introductions. Talk about how to get started, whether you're just getting started or looking to expand your network. Mike will talk about coach expectations, and of course, we'll take questions, and then we'll provide the deck that has some links for you all at the end of this webinar. So essentially, what is Play Versus? We offer a safe space for students to be able to compete in esports. We know students are going home and gaming on their own against random individuals, but providing a platform with accredited high schools where students can plug in and compete against Michigan schools, I think is a benefit to everyone, especially when you consider the students that are participating in esports. Traditionally, they're not the ones participating in soccer or football. So it really gives them a space to be able to feel a part of a team. I was able to join the Michigan Championships last spring. That was amazing. It reminded me kind of like a volleyball tournament, but instead of nets, just computers. And so there's a lot of parallel between the actual traditional sports world and esports. Our aim is to get students college scholarship visibility because there are real opportunities out there right now for students to be able to get college scholarships through esports. It's sort of the golden era right now where it is very difficult to get a college scholarship for, soccer, football. That's just not the case right now for esports. So our catalog, we try to mirror the most popular collegiate titles out there. So you'll see League of Legends, Rocket League, Super Smash, Overwatch 2 is also in our catalog. How does it work? We provide you the structure. So there's a catalog of 9 games that you'll be able to choose. You can choose, a multiple set of games to start off with, or you could just start with a solo esports team with Madden or NBA 2K. And you'll have a team of support through MHSEL, through Play Versus to be able to handhold you throughout the process if you're just getting started. We have publisher partnerships with Nintendo, which means we'll be able to provide you with game codes through the partnership. Also, there's opportunity to actually possibly get even a Switch to start your program. And then with Hearthstone, we are able to unlock 1,800 cards and mini games. And actually, Mike will get into more of the nitty gritty into how to get started and, coach expectations. But as far as quick statistics, I think the biggest thing is reaching those students that, again, traditionally are not participating in after school activities. I forget, there was like 90% of our students or so have never participated in an after school activity or event. So reaching and being able to get those students the visibility and recognition, I think, is the biggest statistic out there. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly provide the structure for the games, which are the competition days of competition are going to take place Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Our fall season is going to be starting soon. So the North Star for everyone, the conversations we're having right now are for preseason start date. It is optional. It's September 11th. While I say it's optional, we highly, highly encourage preseason participation. So there's 2 weeks of preseason participation. If you can't make 9/11 date, maybe the 9/18 date. Otherwise, our actual start of the regular season is going to be 9/25. But ideally, we would like you to get some practice in during that preseason. Our playoffs and championships are going to take place at the end of November, should you all make it to playoffs and championships. And finally, the registration deadline is coming up here next month on the 22nd. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Mike to talk about how to get started.
I do want to make one note on the dates that we had highlighted is I believe that September 1st is the deadline for early bird enrollment, correct?
Great call out.
That's correct. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, so September 1st, which is I think less than 10 days away actually, is our early enrollment discount deadline. So if you have not had a discussion with myself or Patty about the contract for this fall or this upcoming academic year, go ahead and get that conversation started with us. We'll have our emails at the very end of the presentation, but we can save you a lot of money if you get that contract signed by September 1st.
Also, I do have a question in the Q&A if you would like to answer that in regards to game titles. Who makes the selection? Asking because I wonder if we would ever add any old school game titles like Scrabble, Monopoly, etc. as means of introducing and teaching some different concepts.
For sure. Yeah, we're constantly evaluating the esports landscape. And so we're constantly adding new titles, phasing out titles that are no longer popular with the current students. So that happens on a season by season basis. We've looked at things like e-chess, and all the other games that are popular right now. So it always varies season to season. So just stay tuned and see what's on the horizon.
And can we actually go back a couple slides to where we had some of those game titles listed, or the schedule for the games, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if that's possible? Oh,
email address and a secure path.
Yeah, there we go.
I just want to touch base. So as Patty's pulling that slide up, you'll notice that as it was mentioned, that all of our games take place roughly around 4 o'clock. Some games are longer than others. A lot of them can be done within about an hour's time. And the games all play on, some play on any platform, some play on specific platforms. So like, for example, a Nintendo game like Super Smash Brothers has to be played on a Nintendo Switch. Certain games like Rocket League can be played on just about anything, a PC, Xbox, PlayStation, a Switch. So it just kind of depends on what you have available. A really great starting point as you're thinking about games is finding out, like, there's a survey form that we send that you can use to kind of gauge your student interest in terms of what games. Like, you don't want to just assume like, oh, let's do a Rocket League team and a Smash team when all your kids want to play Splatoon and Overwatch. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of want to let your kids dictate, and that might look different from season to season depending on which kids are available to play on certain titles, if that makes sense. So as Patty's going backwards there to pull up that.
Yeah, can we go to slide 8?
There
Awesome.
you go.
Oh,
Yep.
There we go. Sorry. 10, slide 10. I had the wrong slide number.
Yep.
One more.
There we
Perfect,
go.
perfect.
So you can kind
Yeah,
of see different games are on different days of the week. Certain ones are single player games. So like a Madden or an NBA 2K is one person, whereas other games are multiple people on a team. League of Legends, Overwatch, there are 5. Plus, you're going to always want to carry a sub, right? In case Susie or Johnny's sick that day. And so just things to think about. We have more resources. They have some of these additional facts broken down. Yes, you can have multiple teams on the same game. A lot of schools will carry a varsity and a JV, or they'll have a green and a white, kind of whatever you call it. And so just something to think about. Really, I would suggest, really let your kids dictate which games that they want to play. And to answer Dan's question too, as you're looking about certain things, you said Scrabble and Monopoly, those are things that as you're building a program that you can still do. We're kind of focused on like the competitive state league side of things with some of what we're talking about. But when you're talking about just gaming concepts and other things, that would be something you could still absolutely do as you build up your club or you build up your program.
Awesome.
All right, thanks. Sorry,
Ryan.
Mike.
No, you're good. That was great. I can recap some of this real quickly. So we have game days on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays every week during the season. We leave Mondays and Fridays open for practice time or just give our coaches a break. So all the games will be played at 4 p.m. local time. Tuesdays, you're looking at Splatoon 3, which is 4v4, and League of Legends, which is 5v5. Splatoon is on Nintendo. League of Legends is on PC. Move to Wednesday, we've got Super Smash Brothers on Nintendo. That's 3v3. And then Overwatch, which I believe is 6v6 now, or is it 5v5 now? I think they changed it from Overwatch 2. And that is also on PC. And then moving to Thursday, we've got Mario Kart 4v4 on Nintendo. Madden is a solo sport game, like Ryan said. And then Rocket League, which is actually cross-platform, that's 3v3. So all this information, by the way, all these slides will be available to y'all after the webinar. And they include a lot of different videos, some links, all types of things that you can dive a lot deeper into and kind of self-serve some of those resources. Cool. Let's move forward. Cool. And then our Unified League also competes. This is that previously mentioned partnership with the Special Olympics. That kind of evolves into our Unified League. And they compete in Mario Kart and Rocket League. And the cool thing about Unified is all these teams are completely free. So definitely check this video out in your spare time after you've gotten the slides, because it's a great opportunity for your school. Awesome. So we definitely went over those important dates. So now we're going to get into getting that ball rolling and getting started. So player sign up is very simple. And if you've already signed up as a coach, the player sign up is very, very similar. They'll go to that website link right there. Go back one slide. Awesome. They'll go to that link right there, playversus.com/sign up. They will at first use a personal email, then they will attach themselves to a school, then they will verify themselves with a school email. And the coach or you will go in, verify that that student is actually at the school, and then you can add them to a different team. There's a video here as well to go back one. There's a video here to showcase how to create that player account. You can forward that video to your players and they can watch the video and learn how. And then also there's a interest survey here that that you can use to forward to your students, and then they can fill out which games that they're actually interested in playing. So it helps you decide which teams to enroll. Okay, next slide. So when you're creating a new team, you'll simply log into our website, click Create Team. You'll choose a drop-down menu that has a list of the esport titles, the ones that we just went over. Then once you've clicked that esport, you'll simply create the team, select the season you want to enroll in. That'll be the fall 2023 season. And then you can, after that, edit your roster and add players that you verified to that team. At the top right of your platform, you'll see a manage enrollments button. So it's shown here in that screenshot on the left. From there, you can then enroll these teams into certain leagues, a unified league, a Michigan league, might be a regional league if it's not available for a Michigan state title, things like that. That total number of teams and players will be shown to you dynamically on that right side. Once you're ready, you can click that complete fall enrollment button. Keep in mind that button is dynamic. You can always come back anytime between now and the September 22nd deadline to add more teams, move players around between different teams. Maybe they want to switch to a different esport. Enrollment is dynamic until 9/22. That's when the enrollment window closes, and you'll have to be fully enrolled before the season starts a few days later on Monday, 9/25. Cool. All right, so I want to go over a few coach expectations. So it is a big responsibility stepping into this role. This is not just kids showing up to a classroom to play video games. There is intent behind this. There is purpose. There is community, and that all requires mentorship and coaching. So to start, coaches are expected to reach out to our support team. There's a couple different ways to do that. We have an orange chat bubble in the bottom right-hand corner of the website at all times. You can open a ticket and speak to someone live. They'll answer that ticket within 5 minutes or less, even on busy game days. So if you've got technical issues or game day related question, maybe something specific about the rule book or the protocol, maybe the other team hasn't shown up and you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, go ahead and open a support ticket and our team is there to help you. Some important articles you'll have links here is the Play versus Rule Book and the Game Day Protocol. So every rule book, every esport has a different rule book, and every esport has a different game day protocol. My suggestion is to give this to all of your players and maybe nominate a team captain for every team. It doesn't have to be the best player on the team, but it certainly should be a player on the team that exhibits leadership skills, communication skills, and organization skills. Make sure that they fully understand the rule book and the protocols so that they can execute and take some of that burden off you as a coach on game day. Okay, so you'll also show the scheduling on the platform. Scheduling at first will be done through a queue system or smart scheduler. You will jump into a queue. I recommend knocking this out during preseason. It accomplishes two things. It makes sure that you are ready to play. And if anything pops up during preseason, like technical issues, connectivity, you sort those issues out during preseason when the win-loss record doesn't matter, and you don't risk a forfeit during the regular season. So once you've got that first queue game under your belt where you're just entering into a queue and getting matched, then week after week, you will have an opponent assigned to you, and you'll find out who that opponent is the week before. So you've got some time to prepare, scout for who the other team is, and get ready for battle. And then we've got the rosters and subs. Go back one slide. You've got your rosters and subs here. So this is where you will manage your team. So you can substitute players out if one is sick, like Brian said. This is also where you make sure that their game accounts are connected on game day before you start that match. Okay.
Can I jump in on that slide actually as well, real quick, Patty? Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to echo some of what Mike said, we get feedback from our advisory board that we have that help, it's a group of coaches and administrators that are all active in the esports landscape to kind of give us feedback. And, Play Versus does a really nice job kind of season after season, year after year, kind of tweaking things based on what the coaches are, asking for. And so the dashboard or the portal, whatever you want to call it, website that we use to handle all of the scheduling, all of the coach communication, to be able to kind of look up and scout and get stats on other schools, to be able to manage your roster really is intuitive. It's very slick. It's very easy. So it's not a big heavy lift for a new coach that's coming in to do this. There's resource videos and things available to help walk you through as well, but it is a really nice slick platform where you can kind of see who you're going to play, check in with them on match day, you know, like, as I mentioned, manage your roster. And that's one of the pieces of feedback we get routinely from our coaches is that this platform constantly evolves and they keep making tweaks that make it easier and easier. Because you are going to run into maybe an issue every once in a while. So it is important to be able to use that platform to connect with the other coach. And if you have to reschedule a game, a match or a game, or if you have a player that's not showing up last minute, you have to redo your bench and, you know, start somebody else. It just makes it that much easier. And we've had a really good success rate of getting all of our matches in, especially with what Mike said about going through the process of using that preseason time to get all your kinks worked out. If a school forfeits, it's because of one of two reasons. Either A, they don't have like the internet filter thing figured out yet. And that's a really important piece to loop in your IT folks on, bring them, you know, Starbucks or some cookies and talk to them about why they need to let you be able to play League of Legends starting at 4:00 after school every day. And then the other piece is, as Mike already mentioned earlier too, is kids thinking it's kind of like a drop-in thing, show up when you want. It's like, no, you know, your soccer coach, your basketball coach says, this is when we practice, this is when we play, you're expected to be here at this time, getting warmed up, ready to go. And so we want to make sure that happens with kids too. And so those are typically the two reasons if we have an issue. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. That was great. Yeah, and then so eventually we'll get to match day. And so you will have a check-in time. You need to check in, and this is simply like kind of like a statement that you're ready. You and your team are ready, and you intend to show up for game day at the appropriate time. You are to check in at least 1 hour prior to matches, but it could be that morning. If all your students have kind of dropped by your classroom in the morning and said, "Hey, coach, I'm ready for the game at 4:00," then you can go ahead and check in with the other coach on the platform early. But it should be at least 1 hour prior to matches. And then coaches are required to be present during their team's match. This is just to monitor good sportsmanship, making sure that the rules are followed, things like that. And then be present for questions or concerns in the match lobby chat. So each game will have a match lobby chat. This is where you'll communicate with the opposing team and, importantly, the opposing coach. So any of those issues that arise within that chat, you can then reach out to our support team. We're, again, available live every single game day. Then we can hop in that chat with you and the opposing coach and sort things out. If there's a disagreement on the rule book, or if there's like an illegal substitution, anything at all, you'll be able to converse with that coach directly and then get us involved if you need be.
Mike, if you don't mind me hopping into, I do want to just stress that Mike did mention about, you know, coaches' attendance during match and game day times. One of the things about this platform and esports is that being a coach, you can know very little to nothing about esports going into this and be a coach. Like this platform, your kids' knowledge and the resources that we have from MHSEL and Play Versus has will get you all set up to be a successful coach or help your coach, whoever that will be.
Yes. I usually have like a little soapbox speech at the end, but I'll kind of summarize it here. I've seen coaches come from biology, theater, you know, whatever backgrounds with zero video game experience, and they've started an esports program having no clue about the games, but they've just been that, they've provided that space and that structure and that community for the kids. And they've gone from 1 or 2 teams their first season to 3, 4, 5, 6 teams the next season, and even brought teams to the playoffs in their first year. So you absolutely, like she said, do not have to have a background in this. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to provide your time and resources, and the kids will absolutely be thankful for that. So we've touched on communication a lot, and then match results will also be shown on the platform. That is updated dynamically, so you can keep up while the match is happening, which is really great new feature we've got. Cool. Next slide. And then really quickly, I would just want to touch on our new partnership company called Stay Plugged In. They are all about college scholarships for esports, which is really incredible opportunity for some of the students in Michigan. So they're going to host 2 free Play versus Premier showcase events. They're going to have signing day videos, player highlights, championship recap content. They're going to have exclusive college recruiter participation at these events, and then dedicated educational resources created at Play versus users, and access to the Carry to College recruiting events, all integrated to our platform. So again, reach out to us to find more about that. You can watch that video that's embedded in these slides, but a great opportunity for kids that are looking to college. They can absolutely get scholarship dollars while playing esports. If I could have done that, I'm looking at a lot of student loan debt that I'm about to start having to pay off again. I would have loved to have been have this opportunity in high school. So definitely something to look at. Next slide. And then lastly, our new coach sign up video. If you haven't done this already, it's a very simple process. You'll go ahead and sign up. You'll get verified with the school through our support team. It will take less than 15 minutes. So watch this video if you have not signed up already on our platform. All right, so my name is Mike. I'm dealing with the returning school. So if you've already participated in a season here, come back to me. If this is your first season, contact Patty. And then, of course, if you have any technical questions or game-related questions, feel free to reach out to our support team. But we are happy to talk to you. And again, September 1st is our early enrollment discount. So we're happy to save you some money on this upcoming year if you sign a contract by September 1st. Yep. Cool. And then from here, I do want to point out we have extra resources at the end of the slides. So there's 4 more slides of resources. You can just click on those really quickly, Patricia. We've got links to the rule books, links to super coaches, links to game day protocols. So definitely explore these slides once you get them, because there's so much resources that are specific to the games that your kids are going to compete in. Cool. And so that's it from us. But I just want to thank Ryan and Maggie. They've done a great job these 4 years, growing incredible league in Michigan. Looking forward to another great season. But we will be happy to answer any other questions in that Q&A tool to keep it organized. And yeah, I love that video you shared at the beginning. This is what it's all about, is, handing out those trophies and that energy at the end of the season. So really excited. And if this is your first year doing esports, buckle up. You're in for a great ride.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So Maggie and I are just going to highlight, we've got a few minutes left here. Just kind of, I think what makes our league unique, because there's, a variety of different ways for students to play in different leagues or national things or regional groups. And so just things that I think kind of make the Michigan High School League special. So one of them is just the fact that we try and get kids together in person as well. So yes, they get to compete virtually, which is cool. Saves you on refs, saves you on busing for the administrators in the group. But they do like getting together. And so these are just fun things we do that have no bearing on our league. They would call them a LAN tournament or an invitational, if you will. Some of them take place at high school. Some take place at amateur or pro organizations. Some are virtual. Some take place at college or universities, because that's just something that we feel is a really important factor. Anytime we can get a high school kid on a college campus, I think that's really, really important. So we have different events that we started last year, going to carry into this year with Detroit Pistons GT, which is your gaming team. We've got something coming up at Blockhouse in Elma later in September. We've done things with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Grand Valley State University. And then later this fall, I'll do one more, then Maggie can talk about some other things here. This is brand new with Ferris State University. We're going to do a Shoutcaster Showdown. So for those who are not familiar with shoutcasting, really is like the play-by-play color commentary for esports. Maybe you've heard of Twitch, or you haven't possibly, but Twitch is kind of like YouTube for video games, basically, is the easiest way I can describe it. And being able to broadcast or stream your matches is a really cool and important part of esports. In fact, you will probably have kids that are part of your esports program or team that don't even play the games, but they want to help be like the manager. They want to help broadcast it so their peers can watch it, or grandpa and grandma or mom and dad, wherever they might live, can watch it online. And so we are putting together a competition similar to what you've seen before with forensics, soul ensemble, band festival, BPA, DECA, those types of programs. And the best are going to come together to compete against each other at Fair State on November 18th. So Maggie, you want to talk about some other things we have planned?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Ryan. So one of our things that we do that is special is we hold in-person state championships for for 3 of our state league titles at a minimum. So this year we will be hosting at Oakland University for the fall season, and that will be following our Explore Esports conference. This will be our 2nd year holding the conference, and we are very excited. We had over 300 attendees last year. It was a huge hit. It was great to have people from both, just learning about esports to we have programs and we're growing and we need help growing there. So one of the things that we are doing this year is we're bringing it back and we're making it bigger and better than it was. So we hope that people will be able to join us on December 8th for the Explore Esports Conference, as well as stay for the following day for our in-person championships for all of those teams that worked so hard this season to make it to the finals. And then we also host new coaches webinars, which is huge. We do that every season. So anybody that's coming in that's brand new and really just want some tips and tricks from somebody that's been doing this for a while, we have that. We would love you to be able to join us. So we share that out with anybody that is coming in. And if you have questions on that, we'll get that to you. We hold virtual strategy sessions on our Twitch. So you'll get more information on that, as well as we have a college intern that we host every season. And we have a variety of other things that pop up throughout the year that we host. So we're really excited to be able to have these opportunities for students and for our schools in Michigan. Another piece that our Ryan created was the Introduction to Esports online course. It's completely free, and for those that need sketch credits, you can earn 2 sketch credits on this online course. The link is there on the slide deck, so you'll have access to that as well. Is there anything that I missed on those 2 slides, Ryan?
No, I do not believe so. So yeah, just another big year for us. We constantly add in new stuff each year. Something that we started. I know. Go ahead and move on to the next one. We do have a middle school option out there. So if you have some middle school colleagues, our friend Nina Davis, former middle school principal at L'Anse Creuse Middle School East, right? Yes, East. Takes the lead on that. So you can email Nina or pass her contact info along if you're interested in doing this for middle schools. Otherwise, here are some just important dates. So again, you still have plenty of time. If some people like to wait till springtime to join, it gives them more time. But honestly, it's really pretty easy based on what kind of Mike shared. If you have a computer lab or you want to let kids bring in devices, you can get started real quickly on this. And there's a lot of time to still join. And I guarantee you, if you put a survey out there, your kids want to do this. And they will have a blast. So those are just some important dates. QR code to an interest survey as well.
And I do want to reiterate September 1st. There are some amazing early bird discounts and referral incentives. So if you have a neighboring school that's already involved with us, get a referral from them. It saves you, it gives you money, gives them money. It's a win-win for everybody. So just really want to hit on that as well. Don't forget that September 1st date. If you're going to join, let's get you some discounts and save you some money. Yeah,
just to kind of piggyback on that, September 1st is just a contract deadline. That does not mean the invoice is going to arrive to you at September 1st. Does not absolutely mean that a payment is due September 1st. It's just a contract. It's a commitment to pay and play this year. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And then this is Ryan and I's contact information. So please feel free to reach out to us. We will also share Patty and Mike's information again in the follow-up email. But we're all here to help support you. We want to get these programs up and running, and we want you to be successful. So please let us know how we can support you.
Yeah, I think that was it. And we are, oh man, we are good. Right on time. Exactly 45 minutes. Look at that. So we are going to hang out. If anybody has any additional questions, it's a lot of information to pack in 45 minutes, I know, but we will hang out for a few more minutes. Otherwise, be on the lookout for that email to come from either Maggie, myself, or it might come from our info@MHSEL.org email. So check your spam folder if you haven't received anything from us before, but you should have that by tomorrow with a copy of this so you can forward that on to anybody else. Yeah, and we can also set up a separate meeting. If you just want to have another conversation, say, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure where we're at. That's something Maggie and I do all the time. I can talk to board members, I can talk to IT folks, administrators, talk to your coach, whoever it may be. We do that all the time, so feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll stop talking now and we'll just hang out in case you have a question. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see your teams competing in the fall, if not in the spring. Thanks, everyone.